at the end of the presentation. Okay, so tonight's agenda. This evening we will share important information that about our grade 12 graduation. We will highlight important dates that the students received in September. We will give a brief overview of the 4 post-secondary pathways, and we will conclude with a short presentation that offers tips to funding your post-secondary education. Tonight's guest speaker about OSAP is not available. However, at the end of the presentation, we will show you how to access her slides from past years. And when the 2021 presentation is ready, we will share it to our HT library. I'm going to pass the mic over to Miss Aiken to begin, but first let me see what's happening with the screen, because I believe you're no longer seeing my slide. I took over for the screen, but that's okay. I will just put it back up.
Okay. Anyway, thanks, parents. I'm going to keep talking, and I'm sure Mr. will figure out what's going on with the screen. Basically, the first slide is about graduation, which seems like a long ways away, but that's obviously one of our focuses in guidance. Right now, it is scheduled for Thursday, June the 24th, and we certainly hope that we will be able to gather and support our graduates on that date face-to-face. But a few things definitely need to happen before graduation. So hopefully your son or your daughter has already completed their grad application and they brought in their $75 grad fee. And if they have not, you can help them access the application on our school website. So this picture, the slide is now up. This picture shows the banner that is found at the top of the school website. If you click on graduation registration 2021, that will take you to the registration form. Once this is complete, the $75 can be paid in student services by cash or check. School banking was originally an option, but that is now closed because technically it is past due to fill this out. So the sooner the better if your child has not done that yet. Once those 2 steps are done, so the application is completed and the $75 is brought in, then the grads will be emailed a grad photo appointment time. Those grad photos already happened this week, so they started on Tuesday. And again, the day and the time of the grad photo is going to be emailed to the student directly to their school account. So it is really important that they check their school email account to find out their day and time for their grad photo. I see we have a few more parents joining us, but hopefully we'll get them all admitted soon. Okay, so just in case you're wondering, the $75 grad fee actually covers a number of expenses. It does pay for the sitting fee for the grad photos. And that is very important because it ensures that your child is on the composite. And so that's the picture that is on this slide. The composite is something that's presented to every grad at their ceremony, and it's nice to make sure that every face is included on that picture. The grad fee also covers the purchase of a gown and a sash, and that is true. It's a purchase, not a rental, so they take those gowns and their Trinity sash home with them. It covers a breakfast on the morning of the ceremony, as well as a grad retreat that the school is running in the spring. Next slide. Yep, and another deadline to be aware of, and again, this is optional, this is not mandatory, but the ordering of grad hoodie has been a tradition now for the past probably 5 years. The deadline is next week. So on October 27th, that is the last day to order a grad hoodie. So these grad hoodies are purchased through the McCarthy Uniform website. If you go to our school, it is under grad wear. The price, in total price, including their home delivery, is $39.54. So again, if you want your child to receive the grad hoodie, then you need to get on that before next week, October 27th. Okay, and hopefully all families have now heard the announcement that was released 3 weeks ago from the government regarding the number of community hours required for graduation. So the number of hours has been reduced from 40 to 20. And that, again, is only for this year's graduating class, admitting that COVID has really presented some challenges for our kids to go out in the community and get their hours. There's also more flexibility about what would count for those hours. So you can find more information, you'll see on the screen on our school website under the guidance tab. Community service hours is there, one of the sections. So again, you can see what is considered now for the 20 hours needed for graduation. The other thing we just wanted to briefly mention about graduation is that a number of awards are presented at the ceremony, both academic and extracurricular, as well as a lot of financial scholarships. So just because sometimes these terms are unfamiliar to some parents, an academic award is presented to a student who earns an 80% overall average of all their courses taken in their grade 12 year, or a minimum of 75% in every course. So this could also include a summer school course taken from this past summer, as long as it was done with our school board. The Ontario Scholar Award is presented to students achieving an 80% average in their top 6 grade 12 courses. And these courses can be taken from any year, so from last year or this current year, and can be taken in any level. The Titan and the School letter are also awarded on the evening of graduation, and these awards recognize students who have maintained high academics while also being part of the school community. So we are currently revamping our application process for the School Letter and Titan Award, again, to be paperless. When it is complete, the students will be able to access it through their BHN hub. And we are also recognizing that this year has created some challenges for students to participate in sports and clubs. And so the number of points will be modified for students affected by some of these COVID challenges. Mrs. Burnett will actually be speaking about some of the financial awards and scholarships fairly soon when she talks about paying for post-secondary. So I'm going to pass it off to Mrs. Burnett right now.
Hello, everyone. So the important dates, the grade 12 students received a purple handout the week of September 14th. Some of those dates have changed, and the updates are on the school website under the guidance tab. The most important date is hopefully this presentation right now, so we're glad you're here with us. And my apologies if you received the invite too many times. It's all part of my learning curve on doing this virtually. So I'm just going to highlight some dates. So full disclosure, what this means is if a student drops a course within 5 days after the midterm report, the course will not appear on their transcript, nor will universities and colleges see it. That date for week A courses of Quad 1 is today, and for week B, it's October 28th. Even though the deadlines to apply for college and university aren't until the new year, we recommend they apply early. Colleges, for instance, give acceptances as early as February 1st, which is also the deadline to apply. So obviously they're making decisions prior to February 1st. It's especially important to apply early for programs that are highly competitive, which is pretty much all of the health programs at college. Next slide. So if your child is interested in the trades, they should definitely sign up on Ms. Giroux's door in guidance to register for her Passionate Trades presentation to be held on October 28th. To prepare for those application deadlines on the previous slide, we have some upcoming how-to sessions. So guidance will be hosting sessions on how to apply to college and university in early November, and we'll be sharing these specific dates on announcements, so tell your child to stay tuned. Liaison visits are virtual this year, so every grade 12 class in each week was offered an opportunity to view at least one liaison presentation from a college and/or university. Next slide. Okay, for those of you thinking college, we are very lucky that HT has a great relationship with the London Fanshawe rep, Greg Arnold. Because he likes us so well, he has opened 2 live Q&A sessions just for HT parents and students who have questions about Fanshawe programs, campuses, all of their programs, and even questions about college in general. So please click on the link provided on this page to register yourself for a session. And this is one of the perks of COVID, small virtual sessions without the crowds and the travel time. So take advantage of that opportunity. You may have seen on Facebook the Ontario Virtual College Fair that's taking place on November 4th and 5th. We strongly encourage any student considering a diploma or degree program at an Ontario college to register for this virtual fair. And the university fair usually happens each year as well, and we would normally take a bus over to SCS for the mini version, but it's not happening this year, so it's even more important to check out the university websites. And now over to Mr. Rue.
Okay, welcome. I'm just getting feedback here from a parent that the slides might not be accurate. So let's just give it a second here. I'm just going to revamp, just 1 second here. Okay, so I am going to start right where we left off. Sorry about that. Okay, the purpose of the next few slides is to speak to each of the pathways available to students post-secondary, the trades, workplace, college, and university. We will also speak to the option of returning to HT for a 5th year. All right, so the skilled trades. The outlook for jobs in the skilled trades has been amazing for the past number of years and continues to be. If you are interested in a career in the skilled trades, or perhaps interested in learning about a career in the skilled trades, please sign up in guidance on my Mr. Rue's door for the trades presentation that is happening on Wednesday, October 28th. Students interested in the trades are also encouraged to sign up for a how to apply to college session. You can sign up for that in Quad 2 when Miss Aiken comes around to your classroom. A ticketed tradesperson is called a journeyman. Regardless of the trade that you pursue, there will be a specified number of on-the-job hours, known as apprenticeship hours, that will be required. It typically takes between 3 to 5 years to complete these hours. As well, an apprentice must complete 3 levels of in-school training, which takes between 500 and 900 hours in order to become a journeyman. The traditional route to a career in the skilled trades is through a direct apprenticeship with an employer. This is the most direct route for a student who is networked with a current journeyman who is willing to hire them and sign them on as an apprentice. If your student does not have an apprenticeship lined up, note that Ontario colleges have opportunities for students to gain the introductory skills to get them into the door, or should I say onto the job site. Colleges offer 1-year certificate programs in pre-technology courses, as well as 2-year diploma programs that allow students hands-on and theoretical knowledge to help them enter the trade. Some college programs even provide the level 1 and level 2 trading credentials for the student. For students entering the skilled trades, we strongly encourage a high school co-op placement. And when that is not possible, we encourage job shadowing. There are over 140 trades in Ontario, and the more opportunities a student has to experience the different trades, the better. A high school co-op also helps the student build the necessary network that I spoke to in the previous slide. In high school, we highly recommend grade 12 math and grade 12 physics, as these courses are often required for the college programs that lead to the trades. And of course, we also encourage the tech and business courses. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Burnett back to the screen as she will discuss the workplace destination.
So the final goal for each destination is the workplace. Some students choose to go to the workplace directly from high school, whether temporarily to earn money for post-secondary education or to stay there full-time. Others may choose to search for part-time work to help fund their education. And here are some local links to help with a job search. I find the Workplace Planning Board interesting, since it not only advertises jobs that can be selected by age group, but it also highlights the labor market for our area, which includes skilled trades that are experiencing shortages. It's helpful to look at the unique aspects of each of the websites. And if your child is thinking of living locally, it gives an idea of what jobs are in demand in our local area, how much pay to expect, and what requirements that they're looking for. You can find all of these links on our Trinity Catholic website as well. And whether your child is seeking part-time or full-time employment, they will likely require a resume, a cover letter, and be part of an interview. So My Blueprint, which is the website where your child registered for courses this year, has a lot of information on resume writing, cover letters, and job search skills. And hopefully the Employment Center also receives renewed funding in December to support students with job search. And many employers also have online applications. For instance, if your child is looking for a part-time job during the school year at Sobeys, they could fill out their online application. And as most of you know, who you know can be critical to finding a job, and that's what we call networking. Making family and friends aware that your child is seeking a part-time job can be most helpful. Once they have a part-time job, they can prove to the employer that they would be a good choice for hire. And co-op is another great way of making connections with potential employers. Many of our students who demonstrate a good work ethic get hired from their placement. And Ms. Aiken will now speak to university.
Okay, so we have been stressing, I guess, for any destination, the importance of researching with our students. Since they have returned, we have been talking about this continually. So if your child is exploring the possibility of university, then the one-stop shop for all things related to university is the website ouinfo.ca. And this website is listed on the handout of online tools and resources that your child should have, but that we will also show you where you can find that on our school website. We've reviewed how to use this tool, the ouinfo.ca, during the grad assembly, and we have been referring to it as we've met individually one-on-one with all of our grade 12s. We've also set up, as mentioned before, virtual liaison visits in each of the grade 12 classes. So all grade 12s should have seen 2 post-secondary institutions present to them in week A as well as in week B. And although the virtual can never replace the energy of an in-person presentation, they were very useful sessions, and I think they stimulated a lot of good discussion and further research. Next slide. Yeah, we will be doing a how to apply session on Tuesday, November 17th. And this presentation will take place virtually in their class. There will also be a step-by-step paper handout so students can follow along and jot down their notes. January 15th, as Mrs. Burnett mentioned, is a deadline to apply to university, although we absolutely strongly encourage them to apply before Christmas break, and that gives us a chance to catch any problems that they might have with their application before the actual due date. This year, all pins, which are necessary to apply to University in Ontario, all pins will be mailed directly to the students' homes. Those should arrive sometime in the beginning of November. Please make sure that your child does not lose this envelope, and make sure that they also write down the password and the username that they create to access their account. Every year we have students that lose or forget these key pieces of information, and that does cause delays, and it definitely causes a lot of anxiety. This year, with quadmesters, the information that the universities will have access to will be slightly different. We will be sending final marks for each quadmester to the application center as opposed to midterms. So the 2 classes that your child is enrolled in now, those final marks will be sent by November 20th to the application center. Next slide. So it's important to know that universities require a minimum of 6 grade 12 U or M courses. So regardless of what program they are applying to, all university-bound students must have 6 grade 12 U or M courses. So obviously each program will also have its own list of required courses that must be included in the total of 6. So again, once Mr. gets back to my page, I've just created a quick snapshot of what that might look like when you go to the university ouinfo.ca. This is a screenshot of the business administration program at Wilfrid Laurier. So you can see the cutoff for this year's applicants was high 90s. And if you click on the next tab, it will give the requirements. And in this case, for that program, 3 courses that need to be included in the 6 to apply are English, functions, and another grade 12 U math. Next slide. Okay, so again, normally we stress the importance of doing campus visits and speaking directly to university reps or admission officers. So obviously this is going to look a bit different this year, but the universities have been very creative and created some really unique virtual opportunities to make sure that students still have their questions answered and they get a sense of the programs that they're applying to. There are virtual open houses, there are virtual webinars, there are chat sessions with admissions officers. So they have, again, created a lot of tools for engaging with you and your child. We've actually created a video, a 7-minute video on how to access some of these virtual opportunities. We put it on our school website. So again, that picture shows our school website. If you go under guidance, we have created a video library. And so we are creating a number of tools to put in there. Again, video formats are very easy to follow, but we'll probably refer to that a couple of times in the evening. So on our school website under guidance, the video library has a lot of resources for parents and students. And the next slide is just to kind of reassure you, number one, students do not have to send in their own marks or worry that their application will be missing information. We have already sent their basic biographics to the application center, and we have also sent their grade 11 marks. So yes, universities can access both grade 11 and they can access grade 12 marks when they come in. Once students apply, yeah, the universities will be able to see the courses that they are enrolled in the future. This slide specifically refers to what is called early acceptance. So most universities will make conditional offers of admission on a rolling basis, and they use a combination of grade 11 and grade 12 marks. So each university has their own process for admission and how they use these grade 11 marks. And again, that OU info website is very helpful because each university states their policy for admission. Typically, grade 11 marks must be in the high 80s or the low 90s to be considered for early acceptance. Sometimes schools will also look at the grade 11 marks and they use that as an indication or a marker if the grade 12 required course is scheduled later in the school year. So as an example, if grade 12 chemistry is required for your child's program and they don't have that mark yet, but they might look back at the grade 11 chemistry mark and they can use that as a marker, and that might be used to determine early acceptance. Okay, now I'm going to pass it over to Ms. Drew.
Hi guys, I'm here to talk about the college-bound students today. Ontario colleges offer diverse programming at many levels. A high school student studying at the college, workplace, or university stream has the opportunity to attend an Ontario college in a program appropriate for their level of learning. Colleges offer 1-year certificate programs, 2-year diploma programs, 3-year advanced diploma, 4-year bachelor degree programs that are equivalent to university degree programs, as well as graduate certificates, which are available to students who have previously completed a diploma or a degree program. How to apply to college sessions will be taking place in November. The session will be accompanied by a step-by-step handout. If your student is enrolled in Ms. Slatt's English 4C in Quad 1 or Mr. Miller's English 4C in Quad 2, they will receive the How to Apply to College presentation right in their English classroom. If you are not enrolled in English 4C in Quad 1 or 2, the session will be live via a Teams meeting like we're doing right now with the students. You can sign up to attend the How to Apply to College session in Quad 2 when Ms. Aiken visits your classroom to do a survey. You can also go to the HT video library on our website and watch a 4-minute video on how to apply to college created by the Ontario College Centre. The deadline to apply to college for equal consideration is February 1st, 2020. However, as Ms. Burnett mentioned earlier, Holy Trinity has a suggested deadline of November 20th. I'm sorry, the equal consideration date is February 1st. We have a suggested deadline of November 20th. If you know which programs you're applying to, we would strongly encourage you to apply by the November 20th date. The Ontario Virtual College Fair is shaping up to be amazing. Since we cannot visit most campuses, please plan to attend this fair for a couple of hours. You do need to pre-register for this event, and the link is provided on this presentation. Seniors' marks are submitted to the colleges or to OCAS in November, February, April, and July. It is so important that you research the college and programs you are interested in. Research the many credentials offered by the college, understand their admission requirements, and whether or not the program you're interested in is highly competitive. And please also pay attention to which programs are offered at the different campuses. All of this research that I mentioned can be done through the ontariocolleges.ca website. Please spend time on this website. I'm just going to show you a couple of slides to show you what I mean. So from the college website, you can research colleges via the college that you're interested in. You can research programs based on category. So if you're interested in a program in the health, food, or the media category, you can click there and that will help you refine your research. And as well, once you've highlighted a program of interest, you can filter your research by credential, by campus. If you look on the left-hand side of the screen that you see now, you can, if I chose paramedic for this example, you could filter by college, by campus, by credential, and at the very bottom on the left, you can see if the program is highly competitive or not. Each college will have virtual opportunities. I am sharing College FANSHAWE with you now, as the FANSHAWE rep, Greg, has prepared a Google Drive document with live hyperlinks for our Holy Trinity students. I strongly encourage you to take the time to watch these videos, and if you're interested in FANSHAWE, I encourage you to enroll in the virtual sessions they have planned. This page can be found, again, on our video library. If you are not interested in FANSHAWE, no problem. Then I strongly encourage you to seek similar opportunities from the colleges that you are considering. Just like Ms. Aitken mentioned about university, virtual college campus visits are a great idea. You can find all campus virtual visits on the specific college website. What I mean is if you're interested in Conestoga, go to the Conestoga website and you can search for a virtual tour. I will now pass it back over to Ms. Aitken, who will chat about the option of returning to Holy Trinity for a victory lap.
Okay, and of course, yeah, it's often called a victory lap, but yes, returning to Holy Trinity for either one semester or a full year is definitely an option for any of our students. And I just wanted to break down when those returns are usually successful and when they might not be. So it is a good idea for students to come back if they need courses for their post-secondary program. So maybe they have kind of suddenly had a realization about where they wanted to go. They've done some more research and they realize they're missing some courses. Then that is definitely a good plan to return to Trinity for those courses. We also encourage students to return for a co-op experience. There's no better way to solidify a career path and to gain experience and skills, and it will help them, again, make that decision about the next step. When it is not a good idea to return to Holy Trinity is typically when they say, I don't know what I want to do and I don't have any other plan. What we often find is that they regret that decision. They're back here with a lot of younger students, their friends have moved on, and typically it results in discipline issues as well. So if they don't have concrete objectives and a clear reason to be here, then typically it's not a success. And the next slide is just referring again to the online tools and resources that we handed out to every student on the day of the grad assembly, and we thought it was important to share with parents. This table really does summarize the key websites for every destination, and it also includes some tools for providing matches. If students have no idea what program might suit them, it will help them match their interests, their skills, their personality to potential programs. So that again is career planning tools. This can be accessed again through the school website under the guidance tab, and it's online tools and resources. I think that's all for me.
Hello again. It's really important to become aware of the costs of post-secondary if you haven't already. If you're thinking university, you can go to the link at the bottom of this screen and click on the University of Interest to see the tuition fees of various programs. So here's MCMASTER, for instance, the first year tuition fees, and you can see that for an arts and science program, the tuition is about $6,700 for the first year. And whereas the tuition for a business program is approximately $10,000 for first year. If your child is thinking of studying business, you may want to check out the tuition costs at various schools, which could be another way of stretching your dollars. So this college link shows that a diploma program is less than half the tuition cost of a degree program at a college. A diploma program is also 2 to 3 years as opposed to 4 years for a degree, so it does save in living costs. I would say the living costs would be comparable for both university and college, depending on what city they live in. So it's the tuition cost that makes the difference. Doing a budget to capture the tuition as well as living expenses would be helpful. So here you can see the University of Waterloo has a great budget calculator. It allows you to choose a program specific to Waterloo, which gives the tuition costs. So here we have accounting. And if you go to the next screen, it's the other half of it, it allows you to choose a specific Waterloo residence and meal plan option. So the total cost for a year at Waterloo, living in residence at the villages, with a light meal plan and studying accounting, is just over $24,000. So hopefully you're still breathing, and because yes, if you're doing the math, for a 4-year program, that can be a $100,000 investment. So, which leads us to the next screens of how to minimize the costs of a post-secondary education and how to make it happen. So our goal is to help you create as little debt as possible. And these are all suggestions. Even if you don't already have student and family savings, it's certainly not too late to start. Something that was mentioned by a presenter once was Aeroplan miles, how they can be used for dollars towards university. So it's worth checking out. Looking for a summer or part-time job, or even taking a gap year to earn money, can be a proactive approach to creating as little debt as possible. And the idea of living at home can certainly save a lot of money, as long as you're okay with that. And I will speak to scholarships and bursaries in the next slides. I put OSAP at the bottom of the list for a reason. It's great if you're entitled to a grant, but notice I didn't include loans or lines of credits here because we're trying to give proactive suggestions to have the money up front. It's great to have an education, but it can be a burden to be tied to a debt coming out of school. However, by all means, do check out what OSAP is all about, and you wouldn't want to miss out on at least the grant money, which doesn't have to be paid back. And as far as scholarships, bursaries, and awards go, we can only say apply, apply, apply. We hear so often how no or few applications are received by many of the schools offering scholarships and bursaries. So a couple things you can do is register with the websites mentioned here at the top, and you will receive emails regarding upcoming scholarships. And be sure to check out our website for scholarship and bursary information. We have a package on there, and it's that link provided. It does take a lot of work to apply for scholarships, but it also takes a lot of hours of minimum wage to earn money as well. And check with employers to see if scholarships are offered for children of employees or through your child's employer. And then the other thing that you can do is shop around for entrance scholarships. So your marks can be worth money. You can see here that for a MCMASTER, yes, you can get an 80. You can see here that an 80 or 85 or even an 87% average wouldn't get you an entrance scholarship at MCMASTER. You need at least 88% to get $750. But with an 80% average at Nipissing, you can get $3,000 over 4 years, conditional, of course, upon maintaining a required average. And you can find some financial information on ouinfo.ca, but I found that going to the specific university and college websites was most helpful. And then lastly, regarding money, is check out the presentation that King's College of the University of Western Ontario would normally offer for our students this evening. There is lots of good information, and our King's reps would go into much more detail about OSAP. And it too is on our website. And now back to Mr. Rowe.
We have referred to our Holy Trinity website many times this evening. Please take the time to familiarize yourself with it after this presentation. Links and videos will be updated as necessary. And here's a quick reminder of how to access our links in our video library. You simply go to the Holy Trinity website, and under the Guidance tab, you will see Video Library on the bottom right-hand corner. This is one of the last slides that we always show to parents and students. While we may not be able to physically visit the campuses this fall, each post-secondary institution has provided ways for you to communicate with them and experience their campus virtually. Please do this. Watch the videos, ask the questions. I once heard someone say, you wouldn't purchase a $30,000 car without test driving it. So the suggestion here is, just make sure you test drive as best you can during COVID times, the post-secondary institution that you're considering. Before we move on to the questions, I would just like to take this opportunity to thank each of you for attending this evening. If you are not able to stay for the Q&A period, please feel free to leave the live presentation at any time. And again, we appreciate you being here. For the folks who would like to stay for the Q&A part of the presentation, just give us a second here. We're going to